10-4. Hey, Chantal, I gotcha. They're still in the Santa Clarita Valley, yeah, southbound 14. Entering, gonna be entering the Newhall area here soon. We're going southbound 14. And yeah, cross would be, I think that was Newhall Ranch coming up. Via Princesa was what we just went over. We just went over Via Princesa. Colleen, and this pursuit is on the southbound 14 freeway. It just crossed over Via Princesa, and this is the suspect's vehicle, wanted for assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer. And what happened was that police were trying to pull the vehicle over. It was the LA County Sheriff's Department that attempted to pull this car over because the plates on the car do not match that vehicle. The plates come back to a Honda. The car is a Mercedes. So in that case, it's what's known as a cold-plated vehicle, and they believe that that car is in fact stolen. And it was during the course of trying to pull over that car initially that the suspect almost ran over a sheriff's deputy, and hence the assault charge on this person, traveling at very fast speeds here on the southbound 14 freeway. I'll try to get our speedometer up here in just a moment, but I'm hearing over the scanner that he's going about 100 miles an hour here on the southbound 14. Yeah, so the nearest freeway that he's going to come up to is going to be the 5. And so that's going to be the Newhall Pass as you come in and out of the Santa Clarita Valley. And he's moving really fast. Look how fast he's going compared to some of the other drivers on the road. If we're just guessing that everyone else is going about 75 miles an hour, that just tells you how fast this driver is going. Approximately 100 miles an hour is what I am hearing. Unclear how many people may be in the car, but a pursuit that started about 15 minutes ago in the Santa Clarita Sheriff's area is now being led by the California Highway Patrol. And the reason for that is that because the pursuit is now on the freeway, the California Highway Patrol is going to be best suited to follow this car. Yeah. Yeah, looking ahead, it still looks pretty good as he transitions southbound through the Newhall Pass. But when he does get to the pass, which is basically what he's getting to now, it will give him some options. So he'll have the option to get on the 5 if he so chooses. And it looks like that's kind of the direction that he's setting up for, is to continue southbound 5. But he'll also have the option for the 210. So we'll see what way he goes. But really traveling across all lanes. Look at what he did right there. In an effort to try to get on this other freeway, he went across all lanes and is still traveling at very fast speeds as he makes his way through the Newhall Pass. Will you give me a slight turn, Jeff? Just give me a slight turn just because we dropped in a out. Back arrow is 71. Back with you, Colleen. Sorry about that. We were just taking care of a little housekeeping issue up here in News Chopper 4 Alpha. But this pursuit continuing here just out of the Newhall Pass. He's transitioning over to the 210. And I'm going to ask my pilot, Jeff, if we can get back over the freeway because we just lost sight of him as he was transitioning there. But I think I just got him there yet again. He's coming up to a transition here, so we'll see what direction he goes. But a pursuit, again, that started about 20 minutes ago out of the Santa Clarita Sheriff's Station and then is now with the California Highway Patrol, continues here, staying here on the 5 freeway. They actually have done that at one point, Colleen. When the sheriff's department was in pursuit initially, they actually called off the pursuit because of the dangerous nature of it all, and they went into surveillance mode just with the helicopter. But once the pursuit got onto the freeways, the California Highway Patrol, because it was now in their jurisdiction, they decided to pursue the vehicle because it was simply too dangerous for the other drivers who aren't seeing this car coming right up to them. So by at least having a unit right behind him with the lights and sirens, they thought it would be safe to continue. But I am continuing to monitor the scanner to see if perhaps they're going to pull those units off and go back into surveillance mode with the helicopter only. Yeah, we did hear that, and pardon me getting out of my doublers there. We did hear that when the pursuit was on the 14 freeway near Agua Dulce, the suspect threw a white bag out of the car. And whenever anything like that happens during the course of the pursuit, there will be additional units from that police department that try to hang back a little bit and try to retrieve that item so that they can then determine what was in there. Sometimes it's drugs, sometimes it could even be a weapon, and sometimes it's simply nothing. But they want to have it within their possession in order to get, in order to find out more. In this case, I haven't heard if they were able to get it because he did throw it out on the freeway. But again, that was on the southbound 14 in Agua Dulce, and we are now on the southbound 5. We are just south of the 405 freeway, and the next freeway coming up will be the 170. Yeah, I can actually see my speedometer. I know I'm not broadcasting it out right now, but I can see it even from my vantage point out up here. And I'm clocking him at about 110 miles an hour. Now, people have been traveling pretty fast the last few weeks because of the light traffic on our freeways, but 110 is way faster than what some of these other cars are traveling at. Even if everyone else is going about 70, 75, he is just smoking by at 110 miles an hour here on the southbound 5 freeway coming up to Terabella. Yeah, and this guy simply just wants to get away. We now know the car is stolen. Again, there's that whole cold-plated element of it, which was basically, that's the reason why they tried to pull the suspect over. The police officers realized that the plates on the car were stolen. They belonged to a Honda, and the car that we're looking at here is a white Mercedes. So they now know that the car is stolen. And during the course of trying to pull him over initially, that's when a deputy almost got run over by this guy. The deputy having to jump out of the way to avoid getting hit, and the pursuit was on from that point forward, and it has been a fast mover the entire time, anywhere from 100 110 miles an hour on the 405 freeway, rather on the 14 freeway, and now on the southbound 5. We haven't heard how many people are in the car, and I've been trying to figure it out myself by just looking in the windows, but you can see how dark the tint is. So unless we get an opportunity to look through the front window, at this point we're only going to go with one because that's literally all we've heard. But if we'll continue to monitor the scanner, of course, and figure out if anybody else is on board. But at this point, we don't even know if the person is a man or a woman. They've been calling him a he, but it could just be just out of habit that they've been calling it a he, but at this point we don't know if it is in fact a man or a woman behind the wheel. It is still the California Highway Patrol that is leading this pursuit. And when I widen out the shot just a little bit as we come here through the North Hollywood Burbank area, you can see that there is at least one CHP unit directly behind the suspect's car. I don't want to zoom out too much because this guy's going so fast we could easily lose him, but he's going just past Burbank Airport at this point, continuing on the southbound 5. And so he's going to have a few more options now that he's on the 5. He'll have the 134 coming up, and then he'll also have the 2 freeway just after that, then the 110, or he can just simply continue on the 5. The 5 is going to take him all the way into Orange County or even San Diego if he so chooses. But you can see him there straddling that new carpool lane here on the southbound 5, just right next to Burbank Airport. Yeah, the road is really bumpy, especially if you're in the number 3 or 4 lane. At this point, we don't have any construction within the freeway itself, but there is a portion coming up where the construction will be in the center divider. And I know that there are workers out there working today, but they're still a few miles out. So I'll try to show that to you when we do come up to it. But yeah, as you were saying, at this freeway during nighttime can be down to just 1 lane because of the ongoing construction here on the 5 freeway. But he may be exiting here. This may be the North Hollywood exit here for the 5 freeway. So we'll see what way he goes. He's going to have to go either right or left on San Fernando Road, and he's going to hang a left, which is a southbound turn, onto San Fernando Road in Burbank. Yeah, he is just on the other side of the 5 freeway now, so I don't believe he's going to be able to get into the airport property from here, but you can see that he's just under the freeway, going to come out just under the train tracks, so we'll see him come out here on the other side here in a moment. We haven't seen him come out yet. Yeah, that looked like him, but yeah, he may still be under there. We're going to he actually just turned in front of us. We didn't see him, but let me catch up to him yet again. He actually made a turn there at the light, and we have him yet again. Thank you to my pilot, Jeff, for spotting that here. He got right under the train tracks and made a right-hand turn, which is a northbound turn, onto San Fernando Road. Yeah, it looks like he's slowing down, and this is really the first time we've seen him slow down. And perhaps he's just trying to go northbound on the 5 and is trying to figure out how to get back on the freeway. But again, as you were mentioning before, this area has been under construction, so some of the regular on-ramps and off-ramps are actually shut down. So that could be the situation that he finds himself in here. He's just simply trying to find his way back to the 5 and is now instead on Hollywood Way, coming away from San Fernando Road. He's here, yeah. Yeah, and he didn't want to wait for the cars in front of him. And yeah, there he is making another turn now onto Glen Oaks Boulevard. Glen Oaks also runs north and south right next to the 5 freeway, so he still has the opportunity to get back on if he hangs a left-hand turn on any of the majors coming up. Whoa. Oh yeah, he is not waiting for anybody. If you are a slow driver in front of him, he's just going to work his way around you because he's not waiting for you. He's not waiting for a stop sign, a red light. It doesn't matter. But here's that turn I was expecting. And sure enough, he's going to make that turn here onto Roscoe Boulevard from Glen Oaks. Going to be over the 5 freeway. That's the 5 freeway that you see there. And here he goes, getting back on the freeway, southbound 5. And you see, Oh yeah, this is very close, and I can't imagine that he would be efforting an attempt to do a pit maneuver at the speeds that the vehicle is traveling at. But he is right on his tail, really the closest we've seen, as you just mentioned. And this is also the slowest that we have seen this person go as he continues here southbound 5, still in the Burbank area since he got off and then got back on. He's basically traveling where he already had, and you can see those CHP units in what's called code 100. So basically they're getting on wherever there's an off ramp or on ramp, they're staging there in case this suspect were to get off again. They would be ready to go, and they're also able to hold back traffic that may be trying to merge onto the freeway. Yeah, I actually think that's the Buena Vista exit, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same exit he got off before, and I had just misspoken on the street name earlier. So we're going to see that same curvy street here coming up. This would be a perfect time for a pit because he is so close. But let's see, coming right under, not waiting for the red, and continuing straight ahead. And this is a smaller street called Winona, and this will put him into a residential area, like you were describing before, Colleen. Yeah, that's the sad reality of it all is that a lot of people are at home going on a evening time walk, riding their bikes, and then this guy comes right at you at the speeds that he has been traveling at, and really with no regard for anybody but himself. And let's see what he does here. He may be slowing down. He's actually going down an alley now. This is an alley in the Burbank area, just off of a street called Lamer. No pedestrians in the way is what I'm hearing the airship saying. So at least we don't have any pedestrians to contend with here. But this, again, is a residential area in Burbank, that CHP unit close behind. At these speeds. Yeah, this is a small neighborhood just off of Lincoln Street. So we're still in the Burbank area, but it is still the California Highway Patrol that is in pursuit. They could relinquish it to Burbank if Burbank wants to get involved, and if they don't think that it's going to get back on the freeway. But for now, the California Highway Patrol is still going to be the lead agency on this as he gets on to Glen Oaks yet again. Oh, close call with that car there that was waiting at the light. So he's back on Glen Oaks, just crossing over Keystone. Coming up to Lamar now. Yeah, really picking up speed on the majors. So typically what the lead unit will do is they will call it out, and the dispatcher back at the dispatch station, they will write it down as the pursuit goes along, because it would just be simply too difficult for the lead unit to count every time this person runs a light. And I'm actually hearing the suspect description right now come across the scanner. They are describing the suspect as a man, and there is no description for anybody else, which just kind of confirms that what we were thinking before, that it is just one person in the car. Hey, Colleen, sorry about that. We were just watching what he was doing here. He's going to go northbound 5. Yeah, there was construction there. He crashed through the construction zone to get onto the 5 freeway, but it looks like he's going to get right back off. So getting off here at, I'll get you the exit here, but it's San Fernando again. So still in the area of the 5 and San Fernando Road. And that is typically what we see in pursuits. People tend to return to an area that is familiar to them, to abandon the vehicle and then run into their home or perhaps a friend's home to try to hide out there. Because he has been circling this general area, it does lead us to believe that this is perhaps an area that the person is familiar with. And again, this is going to be the Burbank area, just off of San Fernando Road. Wow. Wow, we have seen so many close calls, and except for that construction zone that he just crashed through about a minute ago, he really hasn't hit anyone, which is truly a miracle considering how quickly this guy has been driving and how dangerously he has been driving during the course of this pursuit. Yeah, just about, and it was in the Santa Clarita area. When we picked it up, it was near the 14 freeway and Via Princesa, and it had already been going on for about 10 minutes prior to that. I'm hearing now that Burbank PD is being called into the mix, so perhaps they're going to attempt to take over. There is a Burbank PD unit right there, so we'll see if they get into the pursuit. But for now, it looks like CHP is still going to be leading the chase here coming through Burbank. Yeah, because he has been in the Burbank area, they're going to be best suited to follow a pursuit that's on their streets. They know where all the dead ends are, the cul-de-sacs. Better than the California Highway Patrol. Yeah, back with you here, Colleen. Yeah, I have you now, and we also have this pursuit here on Glen Oaks Boulevard now, one of the majors here in the Burbank area. And if he continues on Glen Oaks, he could get into the Sun Valley area and then eventually Pacoima. But for now, continuing northbound here, Glen Oaks. Oh, yeah, he's really picking up speed here. He doesn't like to wait behind any vehicles, so whenever he comes up to a car that's going slower than he is, he will use that right shoulder to get by. And look at that, just weaving through the traffic here. He's not waiting for anybody. Yeah, so he's still on Glen Oaks here in... Oh, here we go, making another turn. He's making that same turn that he did before. So let's see if he gets back on the freeway. He's not. I don't think so, at least. Let's see. Here's his chance. Is he going to do it? He's going to do it. So exactly the turn he did before, he's doing it again. And now he's stopped. Oh, dropping things out of the truck. Yeah, it looks like the suspect stopped the car long enough to open up the trunk and let some stuff out. So we had heard about white bags before. Those look like white boxes now. Yeah, it really makes you wonder if somebody was back there and pushed them out. And now he's going to be driving with his trunk open here on the southbound 5 freeway. Yeah, they look like cardboard boxes. with what looks like a red logo, and a few of them back there. He may be exiting again. Nope. He passed the point where he could have exited at Buena Vista, which is the street where we had seen him exit twice, and is instead continuing here on the southbound 5 and coming into that construction area that we were talking about before. Typically, we see the workers right there in that middle section, the section that's on the left side of the screen. At this point, I'm not seeing anyone right now, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be some workers up ahead. Now. Yeah, we don't know what's in those boxes. If they're empty, then it's just going to be a distraction. But what if they're full? You know, and then that debris goes into the roadway. So this really makes for an added danger for the units that are chasing him and for everybody else who's on the southbound 5. He had just passed Empire. I think this is going to be the old Burbank ramp, actually, the old Burbank Boulevard ramp. They've been working on this one, so this is the portion that's still under construction. You can see all the construction there, and he's exiting right there and is going to be getting onto what I believe is going to be Burbank Boulevard. Yeah, so he's Burbank and Victory, just outside of the Burbank Costco. For those of you who live in the area, you're going to know where that is, right at Victory and Burbank Boulevard. A busy area, really, whenever the store is open, because you have long lines, you have a lot of cars, and you have a lot of people here through the area. But he's continuing here at Victory Boulevard, starting to pick up speed as things continue to fall out the back. Correct. I actually heard them describing on the scanner to the units that were behind that didn't see those boxes fall. They described their location. They described them as being on the on-ramp to the 5 freeway, so I can guarantee you that some units stopped to pick those items up. Again, we don't know what's in there. It could have no significant value, or it could have a lot of value, but that's something they need to determine when they get their hands on those items. But right now, their primary concern is just getting this person into custody as a box slowly falls out the back. I believe that, oh, right there, just collided with a police cruiser. Let's see if this brings this to an end. He's on Monterey, and he may be running. He's running. Yeah, he's running here into the neighborhood. Units are approaching. And he's starting to give up. He's down on the ground just on the other side of this tree. We will bring News Chopper 4 Alpha around to show you that. But again, a residential area in Burbank, just off of a street called Monterey Avenue, is where all this is coming to an end. Units getting into position to take him into custody. Burbank. Yeah, they wanted to make sure that nobody was in the vehicle. And again, this is going to be Monterey with a cross of Myers. Monterey and Myers in the Burbank area. And that, as you mentioned, Colleen, they cleared the vehicle to make sure nobody else was inside. And it looks like this is going to be our only suspect and this person now in custody.